Okay, good day everyone. So this is a review session in preparation for your long exam this coming Monday. And for this particular video, we'll be doing lines of intersection, piercing points, and angle between lines and planes. So we have a simple problem uh, here. We have two planes given. They're both triangles. Tapos we are to number one, the instruction states that we are to locate the LOI of the two planes without using any additional views. Tapos number two, we are to determine the angle between the two planes, specifically using the edge view true size edge view technique. And for all cases, we need to show correct visibility. So I'll be doing this problem in AutoCAD, pero the techniques I'll be showing will be it is analogous to how we do it in using manual techniques. No, okay. So just remember when I for this particular case, no, if I draw a circle, this is like me creating a compass. No, so it's like me measuring compass. And when I'm striking arcs, I'll probably be doing arcs or marking with points. Tapos lines, I'll be using the same lines. No? And in here in AutoCAD, I'll be using automatic features like parallelism and perpendicularity. But those things you can also do manually using yung sliding triangles natin. No? Okay, so let's start. First of all, para hindi ako malito, I'll just lock the given na layers para hindi ko accidentally magalaw sila. Okay? So this is hopefully nakikita pa rin naman yung we can still see the two planes. Again, we are given two planes. Tapos let's proceed with the first instruction, which is to locate the LOI of the two planes without using any additional view. And this is quite simple, no? Kasi if you've based on our lessons, we can actually find the LOI kahit hindi tayo nagkikreate ng additional views. No? The technique is to just treat each of the lines as if they were, or each of the edges of the planes as if they were lines, and check if they contain a piercing point. If they contain a piercing point, then we can find one endpoint of the LOI. Now, for this particular case, we have two triangles. So each of the triangles has three edges, so meaning there are 6 candidate lines that can contain piercing points with the opposite plane. No? Okay. Now we can narrow it down. No. So for example, if you look at this line right here, itong naka-highlight in green, ito siya. It is not seemingly overlapping with your other plane, so therefore wala siyang possibility to interact or intersect or pierce the other plane. So we can already narrow this down. No? So out of the 6 edges, we only have 5 that we need to check now. So that significantly reduces the workload. No? It's worth noting that again, this is you have to check every edge of the given planes. No. So in this particular case, dalawa kasi ng triangles, so which means that there are 3 edges for each triangle, so 6 in total. But if you have, say for example, two quadrilaterals kunwari, then you'll have to check all 8 edges, no? And you can reduce the number of edges to check by just looking at lines that are not seemingly overlapping. So again, yung example natin kanina, itong line na to, not seemingly overlapping siya, so there is no possibility for it to create a piercing point with the other plane, right? So with that out of the way, let's try to begin. So there's no siguro best way to do this. No, is you just have to begin checking one by one. So it's always useful that you label your points, no? Kasi labeling the points will make it easier for you to keep track kung ano na yung na-discover nyo. For this case, sige, i-label na natin. Hopefully, no, masyado malaki. Hopefully, let's specify the height. I think 0.25 yung that can work well dito na. Okay? Masyado malaki yung 0.25. So, let's do that again. Kung ganun siya kalaki, 0.1? Pa rin siguro to. So, I'll just label them 1, 2, 3 and ABC, no, para madaling ma-keep track. So, this is 1 for plane 1, and I'll just copy this. This one, I'll say this is 2. Copy ko lang siya dito. And I'll say ito si 3. Oops. Now, let's copy that again. Ito naman si A. Again, this is just arbitrary, no? You can name your planes in any way you want. Just for the sake of this video, no, it's better na naka-label siya para madali kong i-reference when I'm talking about the lines, no. But again, if you're quite comfortable, if you're quite comfortable with dealing with planes in space, you can get away without any labels, no. I've seen students do it before. They can do it right away kahit walang mga labels, no. Right? So, I have these two planes, 1, 2, 3, and ABC. And again, sabi natin si AC, we don't need to check. So, let's just check it one by one. Let's start with siguro 1, 3 muna. So, let's do 1, 3. We're treating 1, 3 as if it were a line and checking if it has a piercing point or if it pierces plane ABC. Okay, so 1, 3 is treated as a line, ABC is treated as a point. Okay, so the way we do it is we just connect this one. Tapos, lipat lang natin to. We project it. And again, we must be careful no kung which ones are we treating as a plane and which one is treated as a line. No? So in this case, treating 1, 3 as the line, ABC as the plane. Therefore, etong projection na to would be projected towards AB, which is, this is AB, no? And it's probably better kung i-label ko rin dito sa kabila. So this is A, this is C, this is B. Tama ba? Wait, parang mali ata. No, sorry, this is 1. So ito pala si, no, muntik pa tayo magkamali, no? This is B pala. So this is 1, this is 3, and this is 2. Tama na, no? This is a, yeah. So ibig sabihin, ito, this is between, this is along AB. So we have to extend this papunta sa AB, no? Which is this line right here. Tama? We do the same thing again. Hopefully nakikita naman sa video, no, yung lines. And just in case, let me change the line weight para lang, kasi baka hindi litaw sa video. And I'll make it a little darker para nakikita nyo. Okay, so again, I'm just projecting. I'm treating 1, 3 as if it were a line, ABC as the plane. So this one, BC, this is along BC. So dapat and we'll have to connect this para malagay natin. Okay, this is BC. Make a projection point hanggang BC. And let's check if this line intersects our line 1, 3. And we can see this is 1, 3. It does intersect, no? So, sunerte agad tayo. So, that's medyo good. Naswertehan lang ako sa guess ko, no? I didn't intend to do that, pero I'll just mark this with a point and let's choose a P-type. Usually, ang ginagamit natin to mark piercing points is our notation here in ES1 is a circle, a point with a circle around it. So, let's do that. Let's do the same, no? So, I can select this one. And that is now my piercing point. That's piercing point 1. And we can probably label this, no? Lagay natin PP1. Okay. Now we need to find piercing point number 2. Again, you can do random, no? Random lang yung choices na gagawin nyo. But I like to do it parang para hindi ko ma-miss, no? I just like to do it counterclockwise. Or clockwise or counterclockwise. Basta I'll do it adjacently, no? So, kung sino yung next. So, I'm doing 1, 3. Ang next na adjacent line would be AB. So, I'll now check for AB. I'm treating AB as if it were a line. And now, the plane in question is 1, 2, 3. And I'll check if meron ba siyang piercing point. So, the good thing about doing this technique is that the previous projection lines can be recycled dito sa next mo na check, no? Okay, so for example, this can be recycled. This line right here can be recycled. Okay, so if AB is the line, 1, 2, 3 is the plane. So this line right here would end up to here lang, no? Parang ganyan. Tama? Because it's along 1, 3. Okay, now next is ito. This is line 1, 2. I'm sorry. We are looking at line AB if it pierces with plane 1, 2, 3, and the edge we are checking is the edge 1, 2. Therefore, project natin to hanggang edge 1, 2. And if we connect it, you can see na hindi siya nag-intersect with line AB because line AB is this line right here. Tama? This is line AB. So, ibig sabihin, wala silang piercing point. Okay, so we proceed to the next ulit. Okay, so I'm doing it clockwise, so or counterclockwise in my case. So the next line that I will check is C line 1, 2. Okay, so I'm checking line 1, 2. Again, treating line 1, 2 as if it were a line. Tapos ABC is the plane, and I'm checking kung meron ba siyang intersection point. Right? So dito we have. Wait, ha? Okay. So dito, we're treating 1, 2 as the line, plane as the or the ABC as the plane. Therefore, yung first check natin is this one is edge AB when we project. And again, ito yung sinasabi ko that is convenient when you do the parang one by one counterclockwise or clockwise technique is that you can recycle projection lines. No? Okay, so ito, this is edge AB, and we'll just have to extend this up to edge AB, which is this one. This is edge AB now. Okay, and let me just trim this para mas malinis. Okay, next is this is where it can get confusing kasi if you look at 1, 2, it does not have an apparent intersection point with the other edge of the plane. For cases like this, we'll just have the way we do it is just extend the line, no? And this works because, again, ang technique na to relies on the special cutting plane method, no, where we imagine as if the line is contained in a plane that is shown in the edge view of the particular view that you are working on. No? So parang naka-contained itong C12 in a line. And again, that's the theory behind it. No? So, hindi nyo masyadong concern how it works per se, no, but it's good to if you have a good grasp of the rationale behind the special cutting plane technique. It will give you an advantage because you know that by extending it, the method should still work, no, right? So ito, if we extend the line, this is where your special where your line, it has an apparent intersection. Ito si subline BC, and let me just move letter C, no. So therefore, from here, I'll just make a projection, and this is BC. So hanapin natin, BC is this point right here. Tama? Alright, so gagawin na natin ngayon is we'll connect this point with the first one, which is ito, AB. Tama. And let's see if it has an intersection point. This is our line, no? Line 1, 2. Let me just connect that properly. And you can see hindi nag-intersect, no? So ibig sabihin 1, 2 does not have a piercing point. So we continue on, no? Okay, next check natin, we should be checking AC, no, if we do it counterclockwise. But again, we've noted that AC has no possibility of intersecting or producing an actual piercing point, no, and not just an imaginary one. So we'll skip AC. Proceed tayo with the next one, which is 2, 3. Okay, same case with 2, 3, no. 2, 3 does not have an it only has an apparent intersection point with one of the edge of plane ABC, and for those cases, kailangan natin siyang i-extend, no? Okay, so let's just lengthen this like so. Okay, so here we're treating 2, 3 again as a line, ABC as the plane, and we're checking if meron ba siyang piercing point. Okay, so if 2, 3 is the line, then edge we will be projecting this apparent intersection as a along the ABC plane. Okay, so this is BC. So project natin siya hanggang BC. BC is here. Ito naman, this is along AC. Project natin siya hanggang dito. And when we check, we are looking at 2, 3 versus ABC, and hindi din siya nag-intersect. At this point, no, parang sobrang dami na ng piercing points na, or sobrang dami na ng projection lines na nag-create natin. So it's worth noting that hindi dapat binubura yung yung mga construction lines natin, pero if you can create your construction line in such a way na manipis sila, or that very sharp yung pencils mo, then it could go a long way to make your work a lot more cleaner, no? Right? So let's check the next line. So we've checked, ano ba na check natin so far? We have checked 1, 3, we checked BC, AB, then we checked 1, 2, skipped AC, then checked 2, 3. Now let's check BC. So we're checking line BC, and this is the last line actually, no? And for sure, kasi ito na yung last line, for sure it should have an intersection point, no? So we're treating BC as the line. So ito yung natin, treating BC as the line. Tapos 1, 2, 3 as the plane. So if BC is the line, then itong projection line to should end at edge 1, 3. And let's just extend that, edge 1, 3 hanggang dyan. Then ito naman, this is edge 2, 3. We'll just extend that to edge 2, 3, or hanggang dito siya. Tama? Now let's connect the two, connecting this one with this one, and we'll notice that again we were trying to figure out if BC line was treated as or BC was treated as a line, or we were checking if it has a piercing point with 1, 2, 3, and it does have a piercing point. So this is the piercing point right there. Tama? BC, and it has a piercing point. Okay, so now that we have this, meron na actually tayong we have a line of intersection, no? So this is the line of intersection, and let's change the color of this one para lang mas malinaw. Let's change this to let's do control 1 and I'll shift it here. And I'll change the color to siguro cyan. Let's do cyan, okay? To indicate that it's a final answer, no? And or probably I can do one more layer. Let's do final answer. And let's make this a little thicker, no? Para obvious talaga siya. So we did 0.3, maybe 0.4. Okay. And let's change this to final answer layer. Oh, but let me just check now. Final answer. Kasi okay na. Okay. Right, so now gagawin na lang natin is to project the line of intersection onto the other side. So I'll go back to my solution layer now. Okay, and what we'll do is project this, and this is along 1, 3, so we'll be projecting it up to 1, 3 now. So here, and let's mark that with a point again, and we are marking it along 0.13, no, because the piercing point is a common point, no. It's part of the line as well as the plane, but it's easier found when we are looking for it along the line, no? Because if it's a line, then it will just be along the array of points that is defined by the line. Pag sa plane, medyo mas mahirap siyang hanapin if you try that. So kaya sa line natin siya pino-project. Right? This one is along BC. Then let's just project it along BC. BC is this one. So we can, let's change layers. Final answer natin. Can mark this with a final answer. Oh, hindi ata nag-change layer. Dot by layer. Ayan. Okay. Alright. So, medyo it looks confusing pa ngayon, no? Because of the multiple projection lines that we have created. But once we draw the correct visibility, it will become much cleaner, no? Mas apparent kung ano yung talaga nangyayari dito sa plane na to. Or dito sa two planes na to, no? Okay, so let's now show correct visibility. And the easiest way to show correct visibility is to just use there are many ways to do this, no? But what I teach in class is the easiest way is the alternating method, no? Wherein the lines will alternate between broken and broken and or hidden and solid as it passes through a critical point. I call it critical points. So critical points could be either an apparent intersection or a piercing point. So when it goes through that, it will change visibility. And let me just clean this up a little bit, no? So linisin ko lang para mas so that we can have a better time when we're looking at or when we're trying to decide whether it's hidden or solid. Okay, so just to set it up, I'll just create a bunch of lines. Then what I'll do is I'll change the properties of those lines so that it will show either a continuous line or a hidden line or broken line. Okay, so let's do from here to here. I'll just shade this one out, though. And we can also, I'll probably darken this as well, no? Just to make it clearer. So this is part of the final answer now. Alright, so let's try to check which of these lines are and just for the sake of the video, no, I'll make it such that the solution is slightly lighter. Let's do 50% transparency. Okay, just para lang mas no, we can visualize it better. Okay, probably make it a little bit lighter pa. 80 might be a good number. Alright, yan siguro. Alright, that seems okay. You can still see the construction lines, no? But it makes the final answer pop even more. Right, so the way we do it is again I like to do the alternating method. It's for me the easiest way to to determine the correct visibility. So the way it works is you start with a segment. Let's say, for example, this segment right here. Let's check whether whether this is a solid line or this is a broken line. So the way we do that is check the apparent intersection point. And again, when you're doing correct visibility, what you're actually doing is checking which line is on top of another line. So for example, if this one, I'm checking whether 1 3 is on top of AB or it's the opposite, AB is on top of 1 3. So to do that, I'll just follow this projection lines. It's already existing in this problem, no? So itong projection line na to, let's trace it, and you'll notice that it first touches the 1 3 line. AB is still here, so 1 3, so meaning 1 3 is on top of AB, therefore this is solid right here. This is solid. So if this is solid, then if you do the alternating method, this becomes solid. Now this is now a broken line, and let me just change the line type here. I'll make it, let me just set it up first now. Alright, I've set it up no, para lang may dash lines na tayo. So again, we've determined that this is solid, therefore we'll do alternating. No? So if it's solid, critical point, so alternate tayo. Solid, broken, then we have solid, then this is not a critical point, so dire-diretso yung solid natin hanggang dito. Then we move into broken, then solid again. Okay? So again, ulit tayo, no? So this is solid, and that is determined through yung ginawa nating test. We're checking 1 3 versus AB, and we've determined that 1 3 is on top of AB, therefore visible si 1 3 dito. So this is solid. Now this becomes hidden. Hidden. Now next is solid. It's solid until the next critical point, and the critical points that we're considering here is either two things lang, no? It's either an apparent intersection point between the edges of the planes or a piercing point. So from here, if you look at this, from here to here, wala pa naman siyang dinadaanan na critical point. No? The next critical point is actually when it reaches this point right here. Therefore, solid to hanggang dito. Up until here, this is a critical point. This is an apparent intersection. Therefore, we change visibility. So, change visibility tayo. This becomes now a broken line. Then next, once it reaches a piercing point, then we change visibility again. So, this is a piercing point. So, solid again. Then, this is an apparent intersection point. Then it becomes a broken line again. Okay, so change this one. So again, that's my tip. No, it becomes, and let me just before I proceed with what I was going to say. No, I'll change this into, this should be final answer. No, because the piercing points are part of the final answer. All right. So again, personally, this is the technique I use. I use the alternating technique. It's much easier to remember, and it's quite fast, no? Because you only need to check 2 lines. So if you check here in my example, I checked 1 3 AB. It doesn't really matter where you start, no? But as long as you check the line, you check this is solid, because again 1 3 is above. So solid, hidden, solid, hidden, solid, then hidden. Okay, so it's quite fast now. You only need to check once, then you do the alternating method. If you find that confusing, you can always check line by line, no? So for example, you can always check again, let's try, let's say ito, BC versus 2 3. If you check that, that's this intersection point, no? So again, we're checking it line by line. So that's 2 3 versus BC, and if you look at it, it first intersects 2 3 here. BC is still here, no? Meaning that 2 3 is above BC, and you can see 2 3 is the solid line. BC here is the broken line, right? So you can do that if you want. You can check one by one, but again, I like to do the alternating method, no, because it's faster. Also, one thing I also like to do is just look at the planes themselves, no, how they are oriented in space. So if it looks right, like for example here, I can already imagine the plane, how the plane is intersecting with the other plane. If it makes sense, then it's probably correct. If something feels off, and this is the tip I like to give students, no, if you're doing the correct visibility and you notice that something feels off, but you can't pinpoint what that something is, then probably it's because there's a mistake in one of the visible lines or the broken lines. So, and you'll have to double check which one is that. This one, to me, I'm just looking at it, looks fine. So I feel like this is already correct now. Okay, now we do the same for the other view, because the views are independent, no? So it doesn't mean that, for example, if I found that this is broken, this part is broken in this particular view, that it should also be broken in the other view, no? So it's independent, so you'll have to check it independent of the views, no? Okay, so here I'll be checking it once again, and let me just form the lines first, no? This one, here, and again I'll be using the alternating method. Wait, I accidentally changed the, and let me just turn off the ribbon first, no, para we'll have a lot cleaner surface work area. Okay, let me do that again. Okay, let me do the alternating method again. I'll just check one random line, which one is hidden, which one is solid, and I can do alternating method from there. Let me check here. This is, let's shift back to solution. Okay, so this is, I'm checking between line AC versus line 2 3. Let's check who is closer to the reference plane, and that's unang tinamaan si 2 3, no? 2 3 is here, AC is way out here, no? Nandito pa si AC, so which means that 2 3 is closer, therefore 2 3 will be shown as the solid line. And wait, mali yung ginawa kong ano, no? Let me just adjust. Nagawa ko pala siyang broken line. And then this one is broken as well. Tama na ba? Right. So let's copy the properties here. So, sabi natin, 2 3 was closer, no? 2 3 was closer than AC, so therefore si AC yung broken line, and therefore we can do the alternating method again. Okay, so solid, broken, solid, this should be broken, then solid again, then piercing point, so ibig sabihin change visibility ulit, so that's broken, then apparent intersection point, solid, therefore tapos dito piercing point, so broken again. So again, it's quite fast, no? I only checked once, tapos alternating method na yung ginagamit ko, and I have completed the correct visibility just like that. Okay, now I'll just have to finish up the, I don't know. So let me just complete this. Lines right there, itong outside lines, to finalize the answer, no, so that we can also visualize if the drawing makes sense, no? Right, so I'm checking the planes and how they interact in space, no? So it helps if you have a, they call this as a parang 3D mind yung tawag nila, no? If you have an ability like that, where you can readily imagine planes in space, you have good spatial, I don't know, visualization, then this also becomes a lot easier for you, no? Because you can sort of see in space how these two planes interact, and you can see if it does make sense. And for me, it does make sense, no, how they are oriented in space. Okay, again, if you're not confident with this method, feeling nyo baka magkamali kayo using the alternating method, you can always check line by line, no? Check which lines are on top of which lines, which should be broken, which should be solid, etc. But if you're pressed for time, I'm suggesting you just do this alternating method, no? So we've done the first part, relatively easily, no? Kita natin, we found the LOI. We should probably label this. Let's label this. This is LOI. And let's also label it on the other end. LOI. Okay. You can label the piercing points as well, pero for this case, obvious naman, the endpoints of the piercing, the LOI are the piercing points, so I won't bother to label them now. So I think that's okay na. Right? So let's go with the second instruction, which is to determine the angle between the two planes using the edge view, true size edge view technique. Now, so this will entail two additional views. So edge view. No, sorry, three additional views. So you need to create edge view first, then true size, then edge view again, and after that, after the third view, then you should have a view wherein both lines appear as if they are lines, no? And from there you can measure the angle between them. So this will be a test of your accuracy, no? I'm doing this in AutoCAD, so as long as I did the methodology correctly, then it will always be precise, no? But in your case, even if you do the methodology correctly, if you have inconsistencies in your projection and compass usage, then sometimes nagkakamali kayo, no? Parang hindi, sometimes the edge views do not appear as an edge view, etc. So you'll have to find a way to, or you need to be diligent using this technique, no? Right? So where should we start? So we can start with any line, actually, any plane, actually, no? As long as the first plane here, edge view, yun yung ito true size natin. Then after that, ang second plane naman yung ini-edge view natin, which automatically makes the other plane an edge view as well once you reach this third ARP right here, no? Right? So medyo tedious, no? So bear with me lang. You can probably speed up the video siguro while I'm doing this, because medyo tedious yung next step natin. And in fact, maybe I'll clean up the solutions first, no? But siguro what I'll do is I'll erase first this layer, and I'll just create a new layer, sol 2. I'll just make it sol 2 and make this a different color para mas malinaw lang, something like that, para for the video hindi masyadong magulo, no? Okay, so what we need to do is first let's just pick a random plane that we want to be, but before that, probably kailangan kong lipat yung yung letters and numbers, itong mga labels na to. This will help me reference the edges much more clearly here in the video. Okay, lipat ko lang siya. Let's transfer this to the final answer siguro. Let's give it a different color. Ito maganda, green. Para siguro green. Right? So, nasa proper layer na ba ako? I'll go solution 2. Right? So, again, it the way this works is, since we're doing edge view first, kailangan we need to find the true length. Para yung true length na yon, we create a perpendicular line, and from that, or perpendicular reference plane, and from that perpendicular reference plane, magiging point view yung true length natin. And as you know, if you have a point view, or if you show the point view of a line contained in the plane, automatically the plane also becomes an edge view, no? Right? So here, we have a line that is conveniently parallel to the reference plane, thatong BC, which means that BC here is actually a true length, no? So this is a good candidate for becoming a point view. And if you look at the space provided, parang it's also, I don't know, it's also pointing us to the right solution flow, kumbaga. Okay, so this is what I always tell my students, no? Before you actually do the solution, just try to imagine where those points will end up, no? So I'm imagining if this is BC and nandito si true length, and therefore nandito yung yung ARP1 ko would be somewhere here, no? So which means na nandito yung first view ko, which gives me a tons of space, no, for the solution. And I think for this particular problem, parang it's pointing me towards this area, no? Right? So it makes sense to me, so therefore I can proceed with this solution. And for that, let me just change for solution to change natin yung transparency, balik natin to 100% ulit para lang mas malinaw. Let's just lessen the opacity later on. Okay, so we'll create a perpendicular line from this, and for my case, I'll just have to extend it first, no? So I'll extend this line. If lumabas yung mali pala ginawa ko. Medyo nauusi ako. Let me just clean this up a little bit. Mali yung line property na ginawa ko. I'll probably send a copy of this as well, no? Yung final answer, para pwede nyong tingnan na rin. Right? So let's do that again. So, and I'll just extend this line. And naka-on ba yung ano ko? Let me check. Parallel. Naka-on naman. Why is it not showing? Let me override na lang. Oh, snap override. Let's do parallel. Parallel to this line. Ayaw. Parallel to... Something's wrong. Kaya pala. Dapat by layer. Parallel to this line. It's not picking up. Let me just lengthen na lang. Lengthen muna. Then trim ko na lang later on. So let's do a perpendicular line. And for your case, you need to also be thinking about, I don't know, yung sort of space economy in your class, no? So if it's too far out, kunwari dito yung ginawa yung ARP, then probably you'll be running out of space, no? Because as you know, nagko-compound kasi siya because the basis for distances would be 2 views away, no? So once you're doing kunwari ARP 3, 2 views away, masyadong malayo to. So nagko-compound yung distances na to, no? So I'm thinking somewhere here, this is a sort of ano naman siya, comfortable distance away. Let's project this perpendicular. You'll be using your, I don't know, sliding triangles for this case. Again, probably pwede nyong i-speed up itong part na to kasi this will be tedious, no? Okay, so I'm just projecting all of the lines, no? Right. this BC 1, 2, 3, 2 na lang kulang. Okay, so I'll be using my circle. This will mimic a compass, no, for measuring distances. Okay, so let me measure itong distance of C first. C is C, which is also the same distance as B. So in this particular case, this will be now point BC, or the point view of BC. Then let's look for A. This is the distance of A, and A is here. It's this line now. Next is, so meron na tayo, I'll just mark it, no, para di ko makalimutan. This is ABC, already shown in its edge view. Next is 1, 2, 3. 3 is here. So short distance 3. Next is point 1. Point 1 is this distance right here now. Okay. Next is, the last point is point 2, which is this distance away. Again, when I'm creating a circle here, this is you creating or opening up your compass, measuring the distance. Okay, so line ABC should be something like this. Tama. And actually, itong point na to, from here to kaya natin i-project pa, no, para malaman natin. Oh, actually, ito siya. If we try to project this here, yan, from here to here, that is actually the piercing point, no, the line of intersection. Okay, so this one, this is already shown in its correct visibility, no, if you think about it, because the line is shown in its edge view, and the plane in a particular orientation. This is actually already shown in correct visibility. Right, so next natin is, let's create the edge view. And lalagpas ba ako sa papel? Sana hindi. I'll be yan. Basis for distances is 2 views away, so 1, 2. So dito yung basis ng distances ko. So that's let's do 1, 2, 3 first. By the way, this is, kala ko ba mark to? This is 1, this is 3, and this is 2. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3. Let's show 1, 2, 3 muna, no? So let's do 1. This is 1. Trim this out. This is 3. 3 is this distance. Then this is 2. This one. Now, what another tip I can give class, now, whether I'm doing this in CAD or pen and paper or pencil and paper, I like to label my points per plane, no, para hindi nakakalito. So, kumbaga ginawa ko dito is I did 1, 2, 3 first, then tsaka na ako mag-project ng ABC. It just makes it a lot easier to keep track, no. So we have A, then B is this distance, Oh, dapat I should trim this one para kasi I'll be marking C as well now. So C is this distance away. C will be this distance. So which means my plane shown in its true size is this one. I can probably label it, no? Para di tayo malito. Let's say true size siya. Di ko na siguro i-label. I won't label the points here. You can probably figure it out now. Tapos I'll just do the last one, which is the edge view. We need to have the edge view of plane 1 to 3 such that magiging edge view sila parehas, no? And that makes sense because if you remember, yung whenever you have a true size, adjacent views to that true size will always be an edge view. So regardless of the orientations I create, whether it's here, yung ARP3 ko will always show ABC in its true size, no? So therefore, we will be using that to our advantage when we create the edge view of 1, 2, 3. Okay? At siguro, sige, label ko na lang din. B is the closer one, no? So this is B. Up. Tapos, this is C. Next is 1, 2, 3. Ito. Should probably change this. Mamaya ko na babaguhin. So this is 1, 2, and 3. Just to keep track. Okay, so we want edge view of plane 1 to 3. Therefore, we need to create, or we need to find a true length in 1 to 3. Easiest way to do that is to just create a line that is parallel to the fold line. Para let's just label this as 1, 1 prime. This 1, 1 prime now, because it's parallel here to the fold line. If we project it, see 1 prime is in between 2, 3, so that's here. This now becomes a true length. This here, see 1, 1 prime, no? Now, gagawin na lang natin is to create a, and you can see, no, tama yung when we imagine the workflow that we will do, that we will most likely be working in this area, no? Parang ganun. Right? So let's do perpendicular line, and that is our final ARP. And we can create, let's just do the projection lines very close. See point B and point 3 now. Probably if you're doing this on pen and paper, they would seem to coincide now. And lastly, see point 2. Make it parallel. Again, I'm just using AutoCAD's object snapping features here, but in your case, parang you can do sliding triangles now. So let's do it plane by plane. Let's do ABC first. So ABC is this one, A. And notice how, because it's already in a edge view dito, the distances are all the same now. So I can just do A. That's point A. And it's also point C. And point B is here. Right. So this is actually ABC already. Next is C 1, 2, 3. 1 is this one. 1. Point 2 is this distance away, which is this one. And lastly, point 3 is this distance away, which is, let me just zoom in a little bit. Okay, and if I connected these, and I'll probably trim this now para mas malinaw. So I connected this line, and this point. these 3 points, you can see that is now an edge view. Okay, and of course, since I'm using AutoCAD, very accurate siya, no? Even if I zoom in infinitely, never lalagpas itong point na to. It's quite accurate, no? Okay, so I can probably place a text here just to show na this is edge view, and I'll also show text siguro dito that this is an edge view. Right, let's complete the labels, no? Or later ko na i-complete yung labels, no? Pero the important thing here is to measure the distance, and if I measure it using, and you'll be using your protractors here, no? But I'll just use the measure tool in AutoCAD, and you can see that the smaller angle, so we always measure the acute angle, no? So there are 2 angles to measure, no? Itong obtuse, which is 146. But when we're reporting angles between lines or planes, we always report the acute angle, which is in our case 34, and I'll just write that down, no? 34 degrees. Oops. Or deg. Or let me just copy degrees, no? Degree symbol. Para mas malinis. Yeah, 34 degrees. And I'll place it right here. Okay, so we have measured the distance. Right? So I'll just I don't know, just to show you, I'll make the solution number 2 a little lighter. Increase natin yung transparency. Let's do 80 again. And I'll make the final answer a little darker, no? So this is 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Edge view, edge view. And let's change this to final answer. And also the, I don't know, ARPs or the fold lines are also part of the final answer. So let's just change that as well. In this case, hindi ko na nilabel, no, but in your work, you should label all the ARPs, no. Also label all the lines, and we'll have to show correct visibility here. Okay. So before we're finished with this, need natin i-show yung correct visibility, no. So this one, no need. This is already shown in its correct visibility. This one, since both naka-edge view naman, these are shown in their correct visibility. Kulang na lang is this one, no? For this, let's just find the LOI first. Since we already have the 2 edge views here, madali na lang mas-spot yung LOI, no? What we need to do is to just create a projection line like so. And we just remember where the piercing points were. So the piercing points were part of 1, 3, and BC. So therefore, along this line, this is because technically, if you think about it, this is your LOI shown in its point view, no? Parang ganyan. Up. Paano ba yun? Let's do that again. LOI shown in its point view. So that's the LOI shown in its point view. So therefore, itong projection line ito will show you where the LOI is. And we already know that the LOI has a piercing, or its endpoints are the piercing points, and it's at 1, 3, and BC. So therefore, saan si 1, 3? 1, 3 is here. So let's mark that. 1, 3. And BC is here. And baka hindi masyado malinaw. Let's go into final answer. Ulitin ko. 1, 3 is this line, and BC is this line. So therefore, if I connected this, that will be my LOI. And again, to show correct visibility, we can use the uh, alternating method technique. No, again, you can also use the other or the traditional method of doing it. Let's just choose a random point, starting point. So I'll just do. Let's check which one is on top. The 1, 2 versus AB. You can project it this way or you can project it this way. It doesn't really matter. It will still provide you with the same information. No? So I'll just check it this way. And I'll notice that... wait. Wait. Nalilito na ako. I'll just label it first. No? So this is A. This is A. So this is B. And C is somewhere here. So this one is 1, 2, 3. So 1 is here, 2 is this endpoint here, and 3 is here. Okay, I'll change the colors later on. No? So let's check. So if I check AB versus 1, 2, unang tinamaan si plane ABC, therefore si AB is on top, no? And 1, 2 is should be the hidden line. And I'll have to I don't know. Kasi I'll be using different na what you call this formatting for each. So I'll just break this up, no? Breaking these lines into multiple points, no, or multiple lines. I mean, tama ba? Mukhang okay na. Let's break this. And lastly, ito. So, okay, naka-break apart na sila. One more. Let's break it here. Right, so we can now apply our hidden lines na formatting. So, sabi natin is AB is on top of 1, 2. So this should be hidden. So let's do alternating. So if it's hidden, then solid, hidden, solid again, hidden, solid, then hidden. So again, it's quite fast now if you do the alternating method. You only need to check once, then just apply the alternating sort of algorithm, if you can call it that. No? Okay. So I'm checking it again in space if it makes sense. Parang the 3D nature of it, and it does look correct to me. Yeah. So I think this is complete now. So this is the final answer, and I'll just print this out. I'll be giving the final answer. I'll provide you with a link to the final answer for this particular problem. No. Right. So hopefully you've learned something. This is relatively easy problem, no? How to find the LOI and then find and determine the angle between them. This is more of a test of accuracy lang talaga, no? Again, I'm using AutoCAD, so I'm fairly precise here. But when you're doing this in pencil and paper, sometimes just one small mistakes can compound and make your and it could reflect in the errors of your determination of the angles. Right, so hopefully you learned something from this video, and good luck sa exam this Monday.